Welcome back. I hope you're staying safe, warm. We finally had some rain a couple weeks ago, and it was super cold. And so I hope you're staying warm and safe. We have a lot of information to share with you. Let's start with some announcements and upcoming events. Please join us this every Friday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the parking lot A for your chance to discover a wide variety of food options, our artisanal goodies, mouth-watering lunch options. I know I'm a foodie. I like to eat, and I try to visit that place as often as I can, although my doctor says I shouldn't because my cholesterol is a little high. But nonetheless, there are also healthy options for you out there. There's an awesome lady that sells different types of drinks, juice drinks, aguas
Aguas
frescas,
frescas.
and those are pretty good as well. We moved the location. We announced it at last episode that it was way down the hill, but we moved it closer for you all to attend. It's now at Parking Lot A,
Correct.
right outside the front entrance of the hospital if you're looking at the street to the left. The reason for that is because the more you patronize, the more money we raise and the more events that we could put on for you all. So I hope to see you there. If you see me there, say hello, and we hope to see you there. We also have produce distribution, right? And we're in a partnership with the LA Regional Food Bank.
That's correct. Yeah. So all of you hosts these produce distributions to provide free fresh fruits and vegetables to all of our patients, employees, and also community members. And we host this every first and third Wednesday of the month, as long as the weather permits, as long as it's not too hot, as long as it's not raining or heavily windy. We host these events or this produce distribution in two separate locations. We have a drive-through on Reagan Road, and then we also have the walk-up at the corner of Reagan Road and Eisenhower Avenue by the conference room. So we focus on accommodating all of our patients and community members. Our next distribution date is February 19, again from 9:30 a.m. to 11:30, and we do allow employees to come and grab a bag of fresh fruits and vegetables as long as we have or as long as the supplies last, right? So we really encourage you all to go ahead and spread the word with your patients, family, and neighbors. You never know who might be in need of some fresh fruits and vegetables. So now we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about some important observances and exciting events coming up this month.
Yeah, February is Black History Month, so it's a time to reflect on the incredible contributions that Black individuals, African American individuals have made not only in our history and culture and society, but here at this medical center as well. Throughout this month, we encourage everyone to take time to learn and reflect and celebrate the achievements of of Black Americans in every field, whether it's through reading books, watching documentaries, movies about meaning or engaging in meaningful conversations with folks. But let's make sure to honor this important part of our shared history. And also, we will be having a Black History Month celebration. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Correct. So we'll be hosting it Friday, February 28th. It's going to be a wonderful event full with resources, and we really encourage you all to go ahead and join us. We will be sending out that flyer shortly, so stay tuned for more details.
Will we have food? That's the important
We
question.
always partner our events with the farmers markets on a Friday to ensure we
All
have
right.
food all around.
Then I'll be there. If there's food, I'll be there. Now I was going to be there anyway. But yes, it's an important event, and we want to recognize the important contributions that a lot of our African American staff members here have contributed to this hospital and our community. So stay tuned for that as well. Also, February is Heart Month. It's heart disease is one of the leading causes of death in the United States, but it's largely preventable. And so in support of this, the food and nutrition team is helping kick off our fundraising efforts for the American Heart Association. So as you make your purchases in the cafeteria, you'll be asked if you'd like to donate by purchasing a heart to show support. Hearts go for different prices from $1 to $5 to $10. These will be displayed around the cafe with the names of those who donate. So if you can, please donate to a good cause as you go to our cafe. And it's also Recreation Therapy Month.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot going on in February, but we want to go ahead and celebrate the role of recreation therapy in promoting physical, emotional, and social well being. Our recreation therapist here at All of You work tirelessly to improve the quality of life for individuals through engaging therapeutic activities. So if you see a recreation therapist this month, make sure to, not only this month, but always make sure to give them a thank you for all they do to keep our patients and community um, healthy.
Absolutely. And also, it's the anniversary in February. 54 years ago, the 1971 Sylmar earthquake struck in this area. And, it had all of you sustained substantial structural damage. But despite the destruction, during that time, our staff demonstrated incredible resilience, continuing to care for patients even through these challenging conditions. But it led to a stronger disaster preparedness understanding. What can we do better in situations like that, in these types of disasters? But today we honor the courage and dedication of that staff back in 1971, and all of those that were affected by that disaster and stepped up in the time of crisis to continue to provide those services to our patients. And one of the most important things in February, right? A lot of you, I think, celebrate Valentine's Day.
Yep. So we will be celebrating here at All of You. We know that it's around the corner, and our employee engagement committee is always looking to put something great for our staff members. So they are going to be hosting a Valentine's Day sale in the first floor lobby, and it's the perfect way to spread a little bit of love and support to our employee-led initiatives. So we encourage you all to just stop by and check it out. Make a purchase. You're supporting us all here at the hospital by supporting that sale.
Yeah, and I'm wearing my red Valentine's, and you can't see my socks, but they're also
They're matching.
They're matching, yeah, Valentine's tie and themes. But there's a lot of exciting things happening this month, so be sure to get involved. One of the reasons why we produce this show is to push this information to you all, so you guys can add it to your iCalendars or I don't know what the Android calendar equivalent is. I call it iCalendar because I'm an Apple guy. I know there's debate between Apple and Android, but I don't like green bubbles. But please come and join us. If you have more questions, there's a feedback button. I think they're going to put it right here, the QR code, where you can scan and add any feedback. If you have more questions, we can answer them there. So last week we had executive rounds, and we went to 2 units. First, we visited 6A, which is a 32-bed inpatient psych unit. These are our patients admitted through the psych ER. We also visited 6C, which is an 18-bed unit, which I was told and something that I learned as I visited there, that this is a very unique unit, something that doesn't exist almost in any other medical center. But these are patients generally that were discharged from LA County Jail with a court order into an locked psych unit. So we met lots of staff that are dedicated to this work. One of the folks that we want to recognize is Jomar de la Peña. She's a 6A night supervisor, and also Sean Good Pastor, 6C day supervisor, for their dedication and patient safety and ensuring that the staff have what they need. We kept hearing how accessible they are and how they're always thinking about staff for both staff and the patients. We also want to recognize Irina Petrovich, 6A, and Haba Hagi in 6C for their strong leadership and being go-to figures for staff guidance. We would also like to recognize Tito Lucero for his dedication in both 6A and 6C. And staff were consistently expressing their gratitude for Tito's care and commitment to the well-being and safety of the staff and also the patients. So they say that he's someone that they can rely on, knowing that they have his support. But I want to thank all of 6A, all of 6C. I visited there a few times. In fact, I think that was the first unit I visited when I first started here. But it's important work that they do. I just want to thank you for all the work that you do. It's not easy work, and I recognize that. And but we're all proud of calling you colleagues and providing the services that you do for our patients. So thank you very much, 6A and 6C. We've also want to provide some staff guidance on some of the immigration enforcement activity that you've been hearing about. You've been seeing it in the news. It's happening in some of the communities, not only here, but other communities surrounding Sylmar. I'd like to first say that the Health Services, the Department of Health Services, is committed to providing high quality, equitable, compassionate care, irrespective of immigration status. The County of Los Angeles Board of Supervisors affirmed that all county departments must comply with the California Values Act, which prohibits the use of county resources in these type of actions, including healthcare facilities. So to be clear, all of you is considered a sensitive location. And so we will maintain strict protocols to protect patient confidentiality when our patients, when our communities come here to receive care.
So let's put this into perspective. What does this really mean for a line staff member if an immigration official asks for entry in one of our patient care rooms?
So there's documents that you can access on our intranet site. But in any case, if an agent does show up and say that they're trying to do an enforcement action for immigration, please get your supervisor involved. Call your supervisor, call your manager. Your manager and your supervisor will reach out to risk management, and they will engage with the enforcement officers. We don't want you to get between them. They can have access to public areas, but private areas, areas outside of waiting rooms or public entrances, they're not supposed to go unless they have a warrant.
Mm-hmm.
But engage your supervisor, engage your manager, and they will right away talk to risk management and also get security involved so that we can handle that situation. All right. I do want to thank everyone for the feedback that they've submitted through our feedback button. And I'm going to ask our amazing editors and producers to put the QR code here. But that's the QR code that you can scan, and it takes you to a page where you can ask a question, make a comment. Hey, Edgar, I'm going to see you there on the Friday food. What is it? The farmers market on Friday. Hope to see you there. I'm going to buy you an agua fresca on me. I'm there. Questions about pretty much anything. Edgar, what's your favorite color? It's actually like navy blue. That's why we have a lot of navy blue around. But whatever your thoughts are, send us through that. Scan the QR code, submit a question. What I'm going to go through are the questions that were submitted from the last episode. And we'll start with question number 1. There was a request for clinics to leave an extension or verify which clinic they are calling from when leaving messages. This is a bit vague. What I think I'm reading into is I think the clinics are leaving messages to a department requesting supply, and they just want to know where they're calling from so they can return the call. But we should have that protocol. Anytime you leave a message, how many, probably you guys don't leave messages, but I remember back in the day before we had texting, we used to leave messages on a tape, what do they call them? Answering machines, that's what they call them. Yeah, back in the, it was a big old tape recorder. But anyway, you would say, this is Edgar, it's January or February, whatever date, it's at this time, calling you, letting you know, here's my callback number. We should have that same protocol when leaving messages anywhere, even answering the phone. It's just, proper etiquette when answering the phone. If a patient calls, hi, my name is Edgar, this is administration, how may I help you? And then that way they know who they're talking to and what department they got reached out to. Any thoughts?
No, I think you're on dot with what you said. I think it's important that whoever's calling, whether it's a clinic, whether it be another department within the hospital, we have to make sure that we're identifying where we're calling from, just to ensure that folks can get back to us and close that loop on that end as well.
All right. The next question was more of a request. Could we have automated water dispensers in the patient access center? Yeah, we can totally take a look at that. We do have to conduct an assessment and see if it's even feasible, but that's something that we can look into. Also, we can add water filtration to existing water areas. If you have a water fountain, we can actually convert it to a water dispensing fountain that's filtered as well. So there's many options, but we can also take a look into that. Let's see, requests for healthier food options similar to those at LA General. I think they mean in the cafeteria.
Yeah.
It's pretty healthy, I think.
So
No?
what does that mean? Is LA General food much healthier than ours, or?
Sometimes. LA General has a lot of options, but they're blessed with a lot of space, and so they have that ability to have a lot of options. We have lots of options here. I do go there. I do get soup a lot. I have a salad sometimes, and they have even sandwiches there. But give us ideas. Like, what do you mean by healthier food options? One thing that I didn't like about LA General is that don't tell them though. Is that they didn't have like regular chips. It was always like the air fried or the non-fried chips, and they're not as good when you're eating a sandwich. But we do have them here. We have both options here, so that's good. If you have choice. But so let us know. I mean, I don't understand what options would you like to see in the cafeteria. I mean, we can look into that. When you mean healthier food options, I think it's pretty healthy already. But if if you would like to see some other options, let us know. Give us ideas, and we'll talk to our food and services nutrition folks and see what we can do. And the next question is: there's a request. Could we have charging stations for our patients and visitors? And I think they mean like in the waiting areas. You've seen them at airports, I think, but they're moving more towards having access to like a USB charging outlet or an electrical outlet. I think that's where because there's so many. I mean, you got USB-C, Android charging stations. So many. I don't know if we can keep up with the different types of cords, but I think it's a good idea that we place, maybe outlets or we'll look into that. I mean, I think it's a decent request. So, as more information that you can provide, a little bit more detail in what you're asking, that'd be great. Also, they don't have to be questions. If you have suggestions for what you want to see on this show, if you have suggestions on how we can improve the show, if you have questions of, me, I mean, I would be happy to answer them. And so we're also doing, part of these events is recognizing the different cultural backgrounds that we have in our facility. And through that, we're having some events, right?
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and add another section into that feedback button. And so now you'll have the chance to recognize someone who contributes positively to our culture or makes a meaningful impact in the role here at all of you. So we're really talking about those historical or heritage months like Black History Month in February, Armenian History Month, AAPI Heritage Month, Hispanic Heritage Month. So we're really going to look for you all to make those nominations, submit them, and we'll be able to go ahead and recognize them here live on the View. So thank you for helping us honor the incredible contributions of our staff, and we look forward to hearing your nominations.
Yeah, and so for Black History Month, if there's someone that you feel you want to recognize for the contributions that they made to our facility, it's your colleague, your coworker, send it to us. We want to hear about these stories. We want to hear about these folks, and we want to recognize them on this platform. So send that over, and we'll be sure to recognize them. So thank you. Couple shout outs. We recently had a radioactive materials license inspection. And for some of you that don't know, we do have radioactive material here. And so there's a special way to handle them, dispose of them, store them, so that neither patients nor staff are harmed in the event. So we have a special license for that, and they come and inspect to make sure that we're following all the protocols. Well, I'm happy to say that the inspection went super smooth with no recommendations, meaning that there wasn't anything that the inspector saw that we needed to improve. So we want to give a big shout out to Dr. Nee, Anna Ramirez, and Bora for their leadership and support. Anna came in despite not feeling well, and sometimes we have to do it, and thank you so much for that to support the inspection. Bora is the radiation safety officer. That person's essential for ensuring everything ran smoothly. So we want to thank you. We want to, it takes folks like you to make this place run as well as it does. And this is just one example of those things that maybe you didn't even know that happened, right? But we want to thank everyone in radiology and the radioactive materials, the safety team. Thank you very much for a successful survey. You're going to see that in this episode, there's a lot of improvements. Like we have a fancy mic now, we have some fancy lighting, and we have a green screen behind me. So I want to shout out the people behind the cameras. I want to shout out Jack. I want to shout out Evan and Alice that are here working these cameras, doing the post editing. I also want to shout out Brenda for putting the content together, getting the team together, and putting this on. It's just going to get better from here on out. So thank you for sticking around. Thank you for doing what you do every day, coming to work and providing the best care to our patients and community. It's really appreciated. We do see it, and we really want to thank you. Keep up the great work. I look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. We'll have another episode. But until then, if you see me in the hallways, see any of us, stop by and say hello. Don't walk with your cell phone as you're walking. You know, sometimes I want to stand in front of them like, hi. But, you know, say hello, talk to me, tell me what's going on, and hope to see you in 2 weeks. Again, hit that feedback button, scan the QR code, send us your feedback. Stay safe. Please be kind to each other, help one another, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Thank you very much.